Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rochelle. This is Brampton Gardener, and I have a very exciting yet sad video for today. So I have this absolutely fantastic Amaryllis, and it decided to just start blooming on its own. It wasn't even planted yet. I had it just sitting. So I had dug this up in the spring, in the fall before it got a frost, and I had it just sitting in a container, and all of a sudden it decided to start sprouting. Now the other one did not. And so it's just sitting in here. I've decided to soak its roots a little bit. This one doesn't even have any roots. So this was originally one of the waxed, these two were both the waxed Amaryllis that I bought at Costco, and 4 years ago now. And so once it's done blooming, I cut the stalk back, and then it sprouts these beautiful green leaves, and I plant them into my container into the front where it gets pretty much full shade. And it just has really nice green foliage all summer long. And then in the fall before frost, I cut it all the way back, bring it in, let it dry out, and then I'm supposed to pot it up. And I've kind of forgot this year, and it decided to take matters into its own hand. The sad thing is as I was setting this up just now, it fell and it broke right there. It didn't snap all the way through, but there's like a little bit of damage there. So I have some of these orchid stakes that I've saved from previous orchids that I've killed, and I'm going to try and stake it up and pot it up at the same time. So we'll see if we can do that. And is this container not the cutest thing you've ever seen? I went on to Nextdoor app, and I was looking just randomly like you do, and this lady was selling a handful of different pots, and this was one of them, and it was $5, and I think it's just absolutely adorable. So you don't want to bury the bulb. You really only want the soil to come up part way on the bulb. And now if I was Laura, a garden answer, I would come in with some lovely moss and all kinds of other things to try and pretty it up, but I think it's going to look just fine. And it's not going to stay in this container. Like if it was going to stay in this container year round, then I would definitely do something like that. But once it's done blooming, it's going to go outside. So we are going to try and see if we can't at least stake it up while it's going, so it can keep blooming. And it should have more bloom stalks come up. And so that's way too fat for these. I was hoping to try to just... Okay, I'm going to have to get some kind of string. Daughter was doing some beading, so we had some wire sitting there. So maybe I'll just use some of that. Well, so much for my absolutely lovely flat planter. But we shall see if this thing survives. I will give it a little bit of water, but it's been doing pretty good on its own. This is kind of sad. And actually, I forgot I was going to plant the other one in, so I gotta scooch this forward. Hold on, scooch this forward. We'll scooch the whole thing forward. And then I'm just going to set this one in here behind it. Now this pot does not have any drainage, so I will be very careful when I water it. I'm not going to overwater. And these are only going to be out here until May when I do my front planter. So, okay, so I got my 2 Amaryllis potted up. Okay, so I'm glad to get that out of the way. And then I was going to show you the other 2 little pots that I got from the same lady on Nextdoor app. So, aren't they adorable? Like, how cute is that little planter? So I just went and bought these 2 little assorted exotic angel. is what they're called. And I thought they were pretty cute. And they just sit in here. I'm not going to pot them into here because there's no drainage holes in here and they would outgrow this really, really fast. And these are probably going to go out into a front planter as well anyways. So I'm going to have to try and think about what I'm going to end up putting into these pots because they are really tiny. And so anything that's not like a cactus or something might outgrow it. So they might, I don't know. We'll see. But for now, they're going to sit really cute on my either side of the fireplace in these little containers. So that was my little purchase on Marketplace. And I'm really sad about my amaryllis. Hopefully it recovers and I get several more blooms from it as well. And it'll do fine out in the summer and we'll try again next year. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.